Just get it open.
Okay, fine. Alright, I will.
I told you this in the garage.
I will bring up a...
Also, I'm definitely moving the mic towards me, because there's no way.
Alright, that's
There's
fine.
no shot.
You can if you...
Brother, scoot over.
I will scoot over. Oh my god.
Crisscross applesauce, scoot over.
Isn't it...
Your browser sucks, dude.
It's a fine browser, my god.
No, it's not. You looked at a coin flip and you didn't... What is that?
Alright, heads or tails?
No, get a...
Heads or tails?
No, I'm not using this
Heads or
rip-off
tails?
shit.
Heads or tails?
Look up Google coin flip.
Boom, tails.
No one called anything. What are you talking... Also, put that on the screen, you asshole.
Why would I put it on the screen?
Because if someone's watching, I want them to see what we're doing. It doesn't make any sense otherwise.
Do you not know what...
Okay, you get that on the screen. I'm going to explain the concept. Hello, beloved viewers, which probably consists of Finn's mom and maybe myself if I have the time to watch this video.
We're getting rid of this, right? Like, we're not...
No, this is staying in the video. The VOD. So, we're going to do a coin flip to decide which segment is going to go first on today's podcast.
Yeah.
It will be between the deadass segment, which is mine, obviously, and the dumbass segment, which is clearly Finn because he is
I have two
intelligent.
Sources. I only have two things as opposed to our main stories today.
Well, you have your dumbass personality, so maybe that'll carry us through the end. Anyway, I'm gonna call heads.
You get okay. Alright, fine.
And
fine.
whoever wins this also gets to sit in the big chair for their segment.
No, we're not. What?
Well, how am I gonna do my segment?
What do you mean?
How am I gonna do?
Chair?
How am I gonna do that?
The mouse is in front of you.
No, I don't want to be off kilter.
What?
I don't want to be off kilter for it.
I mean, you can take it then, but why do you need it? Okay,
I'll take it then. Wow.
Heads.
Poggers. Okay, get off your chair. No, okay. So we have a lovely... Here, let me put in the middle. We have a lovely segment. We have lovely segments for you today. Only good things happened. Only good things happened.
Exactly. Well...
Actually, it's really half and half.
It's more... Yeah, it's not...
It depends on how you read
it. Okay. Sure, I guess. Continue.
You really gotta get a Google browser, dude. Like, Google Chrome's not that bad. At least I get to use, like, a...
Google Chrome? Chrome is terrible.
Oh my god. Fine. Why are you such a snob?
Chrome is terrible. Did you not see the new things that Google has been running out?
Because the AI? Yeah, I don't like it either.
Well, the AI is bad. And
I'm not pro Google here. Okay?
It also has terrible security features on it.
Okay, but this line...
It allows... It's closed source.
What's with your... It's this Sigma-ass... Like, browser with the lion, you
Brave
know?
Is
the lion doesn't concern its opinions of the sheep. You know, that's what your browser looks like.
Brave is 10 times better. It has no security features. It's open. It has
no security features? We caught him.
No security features, like vulnerabilities.
Because that's not what those words we put together.
It's open source. It's open source.
Open source sounds less safe.
It's open source. Open source means that you can see the code that's in it. So instead of, like, for example, Chrome, in which they can do anything behind the scenes, like in the code, nobody can see that. When instead, in Brave, it's open source, so you can configure it without however you want it.
Okay, but for what most people people use for browsing services, they don't need that.
And also Chrome.
You understand though? It's not that slow.
Chrome is slow. Then instead of using Chrome, if you hate security,
I go to school with a bunch of stem cells. You're a bunch of stem cells that are like, the internet's too slow. Why is the internet too slow on my Mac that I brought from home?
Yeah, Chrome is just terrible in the first place. I don't know why you're using it. It's just bad.
It's just bad. Dude, the base one on my computer is like, what's that, Bingle or some shit? What is it? I don't know, but it's better than I had to switch to Chrome because the original one's bad. I just don't have a problem with it. But I want to use the normal coin flip app. You know, the one with the heads and the tails.
Yeah, with the Google
instead of...
But this is better.
Minimal. Okay, but
it has its own browser
service. Finn, straight up, as a browsing service, maybe as like a firewall, your browsing service works fine. But as like searching things up as a search engine, it's horrible. It is objectively worse than Chrome.
But then why?
Because I can Google something, like we can write the same thing on yours, and mine, and I can on my phone, and I can find it easier. And mine's Safari. Like you look up like
No,
you put
okay,
up
Safari is terrible.
No,
Yeah,
Safari is fine. My
terrible.
as a search engine, it's fine. Your thing doesn't find anything when you Google it.
What do
You're
you mean?
Elon tweets about Trump, and you find like literally
Yeah,
not
'cause
what
it's the
you're
most
looking for.
obscure thing
No,
ever.
it's not, bro.
What do you
We
mean?
did a whole episode on that shit. What do you mean obscure? That was in the news cycle. It wasn't. You're lying to yourself.
I'm not lying. I would.
You're saying that the
go on Twitter
Elon
then.
Musk Trump thing was gonna be hard to find?
Huh? On Google, they use different spiders to crawl across the web in order to find stuff.
Yeah, and this one
It's
uses
just a different search engine.
This one's it's worse. This one's worse, is what you mean.
This is not worse.
As a search engine, it definitely is worse.
Literally, it doesn't on this search engine. It doesn't have any of those terrible promotional sponsor stuff. For example, if you're trying to download RuneScape, literally the first 3 they all have like ad because it's like a sponsored thing in which they pay Google to be at like the very top of the search engines. They're all 3 of them are malware.
Scroll down, you troglodyte. You fucking idiot.
Oh yeah.
Just scroll down.
Huh? Oh yeah. Then tell it to everyone
You
else.
have no media literacy.
Then tell that to everyone else who probably clicked on those links.
I don't know everyone else, Finn.
Huh? Yeah.
I don't know them. I know you though, and I can tell you that.
I'm smarter than that.
No, you're not. You just
No,
avoided
obviously I
having
am.
the issue.
What do you mean?
You
I
just
still
gotta watch the
never
browser. Anyway, we have serious things. We have dead ass things to talk about. And Finn's distracting from. Finn, why did you go on that whole rant by yourself about your browser?
Oh
no
really?
one even cares.
You were the one that brought it up. All right. That
You started it. Well, I'm ending it. You're in trouble.
All right.
Anyway, okay, what were we doing?
What were we talking about?
Oh. We can do New York first. You want to do New York?
I thought we were gonna have that like afterwards or like towards the end. Because
No,
that's
well,
like
this
the
is
good
my
news.
segment.
Or what?
It's my segment.
Okay. Well, your segment is gonna be the main stories.
Okay, I'll just do. I don't have an article for it or any visual, and Finn can't find it because his browser's ass cheeks. That was him slamming the desk. He's so violent. So Mahmoud Khalil, he got released on some. He got released from his charges. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So he's batted his job. So Mahmoud Khalil was he went to. He was an activist for Palestine, and he got arrested by ICE and tried to get deported.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So he was in. They were judge shopping for him. It
Okay.
was like in Louisiana or something, and he got released
Okay.
conditionally.
Actually, I feel like I've heard about this.
Yeah.
What was the name?
Mahmoud Khalil. I don't know how to spell it. He was a Columbia University student. He was a prominent activist for pro-Palestinian protests, and he was deported by. He was attempted to be deported by ICE. Because of. So ICE released him, so that's good. It was a conditional release, so they had to give he had to give ICE his passport and his visa.
Okay.
So he's still sort of in. He's not out of the woods yet in terms of them trying to deport him.
Okay.
And it's a concerning thing because if they're gonna try and deport people just because of what they say, it's sort of dangerous, you know.
Well, yeah, because from what it seems like, he just got deported. He's attempted to get deported because of his protests, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they couldn't revoke his student visa because he had a student visa to be here for his school.
His wife is American. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
His wife is American, and yeah, I don't think I'm pretty sure he has a green card though. If his wife's American, right? Yeah.
Well, if his wife it was originally American, yeah, it'd be a green card.
I'm not sure. Anyway, either way, it's not legal for them to deport him.
Well, yeah.
Not on those grounds.
Well, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, what's your next story?
Next story.
What's next?
What? Chewing gum is distracting.
Chewing gum is distracting? Okay.
Yeah.
You were the one that went on the tangent. What can I say?
Thank you.
Oh my god. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay.
So before you play it,
Uh-huh.
I called it. I was based. I was right. I'm happy that I was right.
Mm-hmm.
This is by and far a good thing for Democratic politics.
Mm-hmm.
Zoran Mamdani has won the Democratic primaries,
Which is super
for
hype.
New York, which
Yeah.
is very hype.
It's very hype.
Big win for the
That's
DSA.
huge.
Big win for progressives. Big win for him. I was gonna say, big win for New Yorkers, really, and massive L for Andrew Cuomo. And you know, really, that's all that matters.
I think that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Right. I saw one of his political ads, and it literally looked like a pharmaceutical commercial. You know the ones of where like
Andrew
they
Cuomo?
give you one of his political like campaigns. It looked because I didn't hear the audio of it, but I saw it, and it was just a campaign of which he was like helping like an elderly woman like in her bed or something like that.
In her bed?
Yeah.
Freaky, dude.
Like it was
Andrew Cuomo on
like
any woman is scary.
It was at like a hospital, right? And he was like helping her, and then he was like helping someone else on like the street or something like that.
That's so funny, dude.
It was super.
I can't believe they let him round a real live old person. He was gonna kill him. Dude, he has a horrible track record, and she was a woman too.
And it was one.
Dude, a woman and old. That's like his like targets. He loves
his target?
Yeah, he loves hurting them.
Right.
Because he's a sex pest, and also he killed old people. Anyway.
Oh, he's a weird dude.
He's a freak. Yeah.
Yeah. He was also like a Joe Manchin.
He's a Joe Manchin.
He's another Joe Manchin. Right.
Except he's like if Joe Manchin wasn't retired, I guess, because he got endorsed by Bill Clinton. Did you know that?
He got endorsed by Bill Clinton?
Yeah, he got endorsed by Bill Clinton. A bunch of the establishment Democrats. You know what I mean?
Bill Clinton also found to be like a
Epstein Island? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a sex pest too.
Yeah,
That's the joke everyone was making.
Okay.
Because they're like, you're kidding me. Sex pests stick together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously that's what they're gonna think. Like he shouldn't have endorsed him because he lost, but also because the image of it is bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, play the.
Tonight, we made history. In the words of Nelson Mandela, it always seems impossible until it is done. My friends, we have done it. I will be your Democratic nominee for the mayor.
He just raised up all those people. Bilateral.
Tonight was Assemblyman Mandani's night, and he put together a great campaign, and he touched young people and inspired them and moved them and got them to come out and vote. And he really ran a highly impactful campaign. Tonight is his night. He deserved it. He won.
Okay, you can pause it. So, pretty big upset. If you're based the polling, keep it up though. It's Mandani got Ben, I said keep it up.
Put it up.
No, it's not. Why do you keep playing the video? Give me the mouse.
What? What's your problem?
There. Jesus. So Mamdani, he got 43% of the vote, and Cuomo got 36% of the vote, right? So that's a pretty big upset based off even the most generous polling for Zoran, because they saw him. He would only get to 50% by the 5th round of ranked choice voting, but it looks like based off, because there's a bigger gap between Mamdani and Cuomo in Zoran's favor, it looks like it'll be before the 5th round of ranked choice voting that he gets to 50%. Like I wasn't expecting to get a definitive result of who won the primary last night. I thought it was going to take a week or so.
Yeah.
So this is actually this is cool. It's cool that we got this. It helps with our scheduling. Let's just talk about it today. So, what else? It's pretty exciting because I'm really interested to see how the other establishment Democrats are going to react to this. Probably in their usual grace, you know. They're probably not going to freak the fuck out and like start shitting themselves.
No, you're saying grace.
They're probably going to start being very Islamophobic, actually. They're gonna start saying they're gonna say Zoran Mamdani's gonna do 9/11 too. That's what
yes, because
they already started that. They already kind of started doing that.
What?
I'm not. They got.
What do you mean?
Cuomo got a little Islamophobic on the campaign trail. He started lengthening his beard, lengthening Zoran Mamdani's beard, in some advertisements for his campaign. I'm not joking. He really did that.
He lengthened.
Yes, he darkened and lengthened his beard. You know, he really did that on like images that they sent out from his campaign.
Why? What?
Because he's racist.
What?
He wanted to. He might as well have just made him. He might as well have just dressed up Zoran Mamdani like Osama bin Laden.
Like just dress him up like a puppet. Like
put some TNT on his chest. That's essentially what he was doing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, I'm gonna make this race into a South Park episode. That was his idea.
Yeah. That sounds. That sounds about what was.
Yeah. This
what was going on.
Kind of what I expected from him. If I'm being honest, I thought he was gonna be more racist. You know. I expected worse from Andrew Cuomo, but
that's Cuomo. That's Cuomo.
Hey, that's Cuomo for you.
That's my man.
So, the future of this race, what we're looking at in November for mayor, because obviously Zoran's not mayor yet. He won the primary, which is very good, very good. And a Democrat is you'd imagine to expect, usually in a mayoral race like this for New York, the Democrat primary is all that matters, and that could still be true, right? Zoran could still have a really easy track to becoming the mayor, right? Because he's on the Democrat ticket now.
Yeah.
Problem is, I think there's a very high likelihood that Andrew Cuomo is going to be running independent for mayor, like Eric Adams is. Because if he doesn't do that, if he doesn't become mayor of New York, his political career is kind of donezo. Because he's already governor, and he's not going to get a higher position. Like, he's not becoming senator. Because if he can't win mayor, he's not winning senator.
Yeah.
So there's that. He still had a lot of money. A lot of his backers were just pumping money into his campaign.
Oh,
kind of
wasted. He had
money.
a lot of.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was like.
Was it a lot more?
It was like 99% to 1.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah. He was getting money from like Grubhub, or was it DoorDash? He was getting money from DoorDash.
Really?
Yeah, that was his super
DoorDash.
PAC.
That was one of his sponsors.
He had a bunch of the same donors as Trump did, like a bunch of billionaires.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
If that gives you an idea.
Yeah.
So if he goes into the normal election with that amount of money, he could still be a threat, campaign-wise. Though he's probably not going to learn his lesson. He's probably going to campaign the same way as he did in the primaries.
Well, he's also probably going to lose.
Yeah. I'm just scared that he might split the vote, the Democratic vote. No, I don't know.
Although,
how
considering this, I mean, I really don't think so.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Because the idea of splitting the Democratic vote would be a concern in literally any other place
I really don't
other than New York. Because there's no shot the Republicans are going to win. I don't think there's enough for them to even squeak by.
I also think, especially because of what Eric Adams has done and all the stuff around him, there's just so much controversy around him that I don't think he's going to get voted either. I think it's going to be really easy. I think the biggest
threat to Mamdani at this point doesn't come from any of his actual opponents that are running against him, like Eric Adams or Cuomo. It comes from either the DNC or Trump by doing something to him. Because, let's be honest, I don't know what Trump hasn't. Trump, like a YouTuber, Trump hasn't reacted to Zoran Mamdani.
Well, yeah, he hasn't really. He also.
I can't imagine he's happy about it.
Well, yeah, because it's New York City. It's a big place.
Well, it's lib shit. That's what Trump is gonna say. Right?
Also New York in general is, for the most part, Democrat. I think it's almost
overwhelming.
Yes, it's like California.
It's a stronghold for the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Which is why Cuomo wanted to win there, because then.
Well, yeah, because that's why he was
he's-
running for Democrat in the first place. I think that's like the only reason. Because I don't think there's no chance that the Republicans
Well, he doesn't
are
have
actually gonna win.
He's not like a person, Finn. He doesn't have opinions or like ideology.
Are you saying he doesn't have a soul?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with him being Italian. I just would like to clarify that, Finn. Has nothing to do.
Do you have like a certain like vendetta against Italian people?
Not people, just Andrew Cuomo.
Just Cuomo?
Yeah.
So did you find out that fact like yesterday?
That Andrew Cuomo was
is
Italian?
Italian?
No, his name's Cuomo. What do you mean?
I don't know.
Cuomo is very Italian. Also, his first name's Andrew. Come on.
What do you assume Andrew is an Italian name?
Kind of is, Finn.
Okay.
Is
alright.
Anthony an Italian name?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
It literally is.
Oh, I don't think so.
Andrew Cuomo Italian. Are you kidding me? Look at him. Look at him. Not only did he do sexual assault, look at him. If
Okay.
those two things don't prove he's
That's
Italian, I
not-
don't know what does.
Okay. That's not.
Did you hear him talk?
That's not a basis for all Italian people. Okay,
so-
there's some Italian people.
I'm
that,
not
yeah,
saying
they do.
all Italians are rapists. Just Andrew Cuomo. I'm not Donald Trump. Okay. What else? Hopefully, not to speculate, but I am going to speculate. I hope this has a positive. This very may well have a positive outsized effect on the rest of the Democratic Party, right? Hopefully they lean left in their future endeavors, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, I think this is more. Excuse me. I think this is more or less just like that continuation, and against Trump and leaning farther left
Yeah.
than right.
This is the same path as AOC and Bernie Sanders with their tour. Yeah,
Yeah. But that
and they endorsed
started.
him too. So
That started, when Trump
Mhm.
got inaugurated.
and they were always
So-
very progressive. So they were always in the party. They just didn't have as much attention before now.
Well,
now
yeah.
that Trump is in office. So
But
hopefully,
they have been doing that for a while. But I think now that Trump's been in office for a bit and he's been able to, swamp in his little chair, I think the effects of what he's been doing is starting to hit the American people, and the American people are starting to see that, and the American people are like, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So they're starting to learn, lean left.
Mhm.
And if the people that in, the House or Congress, because I think some chairs in Congress are going to be up for the...
well, all of them in the House are going to be up.
All of the House, yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to
but
be
a
up
lot
for the
of
2026.
people in the Senate.
I don't know a lot of people.
Not like anyone. None of our governors are going to be up, but a lot of the other ones. The other
Yeah.
half. The midterms are going to be big. This is going to be a
It's
very
gonna be
very
huge.
important midterm
Yeah. And again, I think for the
for
most
the
part,
Democrats especially.
and especially seeing how many protests have been going on,
Yeah.
and the fact that we just won the primary in New York City for a Democrat,
Yeah, I would.
it's all leaning more towards the fact that everyone is starting to lean left, and that midterms are just going to be even bigger.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's up to the Democratic Party at this point, because we've seen it before where the population is primed to lean left, and they just don't address.
Well,
they
that
don't
happened
help
back
them.
during Trump's first term, during his midterms.
Yeah.
It had the biggest turnaround in, I think it was House and Congress. I don't know if it was House and Congress. I think it was House in history.
Yeah, but see, that kind of attitude is what concerns me, because the Democrats would prefer to run races where they're assured of victory, because they don't like taking risks. So they're being like, oh, Trump is so unpopular. I don't want them to think that Trump is so unpopular, there's no way we might not do well in the midterms, because that kind of attitude is why they will lose the midterms. You know what I mean?
There's no way that we'll lose in the
Yes.
midterms.
Because if they do lose, then we're fucked.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah, and it's important that they don't get too cocky. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they've been very cocky in the past. Like they thought Trump
you're
was
saying lazy with their campaigns and that kind of stuff.
both. It's also lazy with their policy. Like they don't.
Well, the policy I feel like that's unanimous across a lot of American people, that the Democratic Party has literally not changed in 100 years.
Like here's the thing. Here's some data for you.
Mm.
As unpopular Trump is right now, the Democratic Party is still is slightly less unpopular than Donald Trump, but they're not popular.
No.
They're both Donald Trump's favorability and the Democrat Party's as a whole favorability is in the toilet.
Well, yeah.
So it's not a guaranteed thing.
Yeah.
They don't a lot of people don't like the Democrat Party because they didn't learn
because
their
it's
lesson.
all the same. The Democratic Party has literally never changed anything. That's kind of the whole reason that we lost the in the last presidential election.
And they didn't learn their goddamn lesson. They didn't change their policy positions yet. They didn't move farther to the left. They moved to the right, and that was stupid. They learned the wrong lesson from 2020.
Yeah,
They won by this much of a margin. Biden won by this much. If for those who are listening, which is everyone, I'm doing that symbol where it's like tiny. You know what I mean?
Tiny.
They won by a very small amount. And then they're like, guys, a centrist Democrat is so everyone in America is a centrist Democrat.
Oh my God!
Everyone
so
run
high.
like
That's
a
so
centrist
huge.
Democrat.
Let's do that. And
yeah,
then they lost.
and then they lost, and they didn't realize, hey, maybe it's because Trump got COVID like a week before the election that we won, and that we didn't win by that much. Because that's why they won. They got lucky. And then they run Kamala as if it's the same thing, and then they blame the schedule. They're like, oh, well, it's Biden's fault for not getting out first. And it's that didn't help. But Kamala could have won if she just changed her policy to be different from Biden's. That's all she had to do.
Yeah, it's because
all she had to do was lean left, and she didn't. And it's frustrating. And I was fucked. Anyway.
But I think, especially with more races that come up in the future, I think the Democratic Party has a lot more power than people see.
Yes, and it's what I'm hoping to see before midterms is a bit of a changing of the guard. A few more positions being opened up. I want to see conservative Democrats being primaried. I want to see maybe some gain in like Republican states, like a Zoran Mamdani, but Floridian would be awesome.
That would be huge,
dude. Like he doesn't have to be like a DSA member. He can be a progressive or like a cool liberal. Just anything other than what we have now.
Or just a cool person.
A cool dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that's what Democrats need most. They need Riz. Genuinely, actually,
they actually probably
they do actually need some charisma.
You know what? I would love to see the next Florida candidate, you know, going hog wild and doing like Beat Saber or something crazy.
Dude,
that goes so nuts.
Dude, we have the worst politicians.
I know.
Not even just talking about Republicans.
They're so unhopeful.
I'm not even talking about Republicans too. It's the Democrats.
Well, yeah, because
the Democratic Party of Florida
we're all very
sucks.
boring. We're just very.
They're so boring.
It's also super small. That's that too.
They're small.
Well, yeah, they are small.
Small little people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I want. The thing with Kamala, though, the one thing that I really liked about her campaign was how, like,
bad?
Fun. Not bad, but how, like, fun she seemed. Because it seemed like it was a lot more happy and energetic.
Than Joe Biden's, I guess.
And then Joe Biden's or Trump's rallies. Like, if you went to a Trump rally, it was the most bland,
you had a non-zero
ever.
chance of getting shot at a Trump rally.
Well,
so, yeah,
like, if I went to a Trump, there's like a, that's true.
I was talking about the assassination attempt, but that too.
Okay, but like, it's all just super unexciting. I want politics to be a lot more fun.
So, yeah,
I'm thinking. I get it,
dude, the soundtrack to a rally should be banging. I want the best music.
Mm-hmm.
I want licensing fees be damned.
yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and I want them. I want a Floridian progressive should be shooting guns, but also be pro-gun regulation. They should be doing.
Oh my God, that'd be such a good campaign ad. Shooting guns at storms and stuff like that, like Hurricane Irma.
And then turn around and be like, we shouldn't be doing this in schools.
Yeah.
They should be able to speak Spanish, right?
True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially if they campaign in Miami and do a full Spanish-speaking.
Benefit if they can also speak Vietnamese. We're getting all our bases.
Right.
They should be liberal, like socially liberal or whatever, right? But they should make that the focus of their campaign. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, if just because the Republicans are talking about how much they hate trans kids or like gay people, doesn't mean you gotta talk about it. You could talk about the affordability crisis.
Well, I feel like you could still slide that in there. This is also like the schoolgirls like perfecting the perfect man.
Do you have a telephone I can twirl with my finger?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, hear me out. They don't. So I don't want like a homophobic guy, right? Or
Well,
a homophobic politician, right?
I feel like
Obviously,
you can still talk
but you
about
don't. But you maybe don't bring it up. Maybe don't make that the focus of your campaign. If someone asks you about your opinions on whatever, like gay rights, you can say, yeah, obviously, you don't have to change your opinion on that. But what you got to do for your campaign is make sure that when people think of you as a person, they think, oh, you're Medicare for all, or you're like freeze the rent, or you're like, or like make college cheap or whatever.
Sure.
You want to be associated with like a real issue that like affects people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Zoran Mamdani did. That's the standard that we want to base off
Right.
future campaigns here. And what the Democrats better be listening to, because I swear to God, if they don't learn their lesson, I won't be surprised, but I will be not living in a democracy anymore, so I'll be mad.
Yeah. True.
A bunch of those guys from Minnesota working at the DNC right now, they better be doing their job. They better be doing reform, I swear.
Well,
Okay.
you know.
Okay, I think we can move on to Iran.
I think
you can move out of your chair.
Do you want me to move on to my chair so you can do your...
I don't want you. I need you to do that.
Okay, alright. Hold on. Alright. So Dylan wants to put on a little show.
I don't like how he said that. Finn, say that a different way, please.
He wants to do MS Paint. Is that better? That's better. Yeah.
Which screen?
Hmm?
Which screen do I use?
You use this one. There you go.
Yeah, sorry my chair's a little sweaty. Okay.
It's not a good chair. I hope you know that.
No, I just need the angle for it.
Okay.
Okay. So,
You can put it on a mouse pad. Okay.
I might be a little bad at art.
Okay.
So Finn, feel free to make fun of me.
Fantastic. Alright.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you typing in how to draw?
Yeah. How to draw. I'm using his browser right now. Let's see if I can find Iran's flag. Hey, look, it worked for once.
For what?
By the way, your browser looks like Reddit.
In what way?
In all, it has the same color scheme as Reddit. It's the same orange.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Sure.
Okay.
Excuse me.
You're not excused. Okay. I'm so happy you don't actually have that much stuff to do today, because otherwise I'd be wasting time like crazy.
What do you mean by that? I do got stuff to do.
No, I mean like your segment.
Okay, well, yeah, your stuff is the main. Are you drawing it instead of just copy pasting it? You looked up a flag for a reason.
I feel like this has better vibes. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think this is cute.
This is gonna be so
This is
offensive
cute.
to any.
What the fuck do you want me to do?
Copy paste their flag into it.
No.
Okay. Alright, fine.
I'm gonna copy and paste Israel's flag though. Actually, that one's easier to do.
Alright, then bring it up.
What do you mean bring it up? I know what Israel's flag looks like.
Okay.
I know that from my memory.
Okay.
I do need to know. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. What did I say?
Israel. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, wait. Oh, it's not what I thought. It's kind of different than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little white. There's like a white part here before the bottom and the top. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Actually, I can do those shapes. There's a triangle.
Oh, true. Yeah, you just do a triangle.
Where's the control button?
You do Control Z.
No, not the, I know that button. I mean, like, how do I turn it?
Turn it. You click on it.
No, I have the brush on, so it's just gonna make a dot.
Oh.
You know what? Screw it. Going to
Are you gonna draw the other one?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the other one.
Okay.
I don't give a shit. What are you gonna do?
Get offended?
What do you want me? I'm Jewish. I can do it. Yeah, I'm playing that card.
You're playing that card.
Okay. And you know what the American flag looks like. Okay, let's actually get to the point of this. This is the timeline for the Iran-Israel conflict. Some people are calling it the 12-day war. Double the length of the 6-day war. You know? Some people are saying that. Okay.
Okay.
So we start the timeline,
Alright.
presumably 12 days ago.
Okay.
Definitely 12 days ago, because of the name. So we start the timeline 12 days ago.
Which one are you going for? Like the bomb or like the explosion? The bomb. You gotta click in the application first. There
it is.
There you go.
So we start 12 days ago with
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah.
U.S. Iran
Typing is
nuclear discussions.
Okay. And we have
They're just talking right now.
Alright.
They're just talking. They're not like it's
chatting.
nothing serious.
Right.
Nothing serious.
Just chatting. Okay.
So the precipice, the reason why this starts is because Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay.
Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize, but Trump did not.
He really wants it.
He does actually. That's actually the reason why.
Of course. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
I didn't mean to zoom in.
Oh, this is fine. Yeah, this looks good.
How do I zoom out?
You do control mouse wheel.
Thank you.
Using the internet, I know.
Yeah, it's
a little much.
So then we move on to the next event. Except that actually wasn't the first event. Before that, in I think it was November. I actually have the article.
Okay.
So last year,
Uh-huh.
Israel or Netanyahu had his plan to invade Iran.
Right.
To strike him. This is not Finn's nodding his head, but he actually didn't know this information. This is new information.
No, I'm just saying. Okay, it's called acknowledging.
Yeah. But are you listening? Anyway.
I am.
So before even the nuclear agreements with Trump with the U.S. begins, Israel already has plans to go and nuke or go and strike. They don't have nukes allegedly. They're going to bomb
allegedly
Iran. They already had that invasion plan set up a year ago, and then the U.S. starts to start these discussions with Iran, and then a few days later. Yeah, a few days later.
After nuclear discussions.
Yes.
Okay.
After they begin, not after the end. These are at this point in time they're still happening.
Still going on. Right.
Israel bombs. That's not how you spell it. Actually, that's funnier. Israel. That's funnier. Bombs Iran.
Bombs. Wow.
Yeah, they start striking. Specifically, they start striking civilian areas in the major cities.
Yep. The best places to bomb.
Yeah. So Iran has. So they're bombing what they call. They're like military targets. They're saying military targets. Except there are civilians that live everywhere around here. Because Tehran is a city of 9 million people.
Yeah.
And there's 92 million people in Iran. And it's the size of like Texas.
Yeah.
So they start that. And this is really a crash out on the part of Israel. Like every foreign action that they take, it's a crash out because they don't want Iran and U.S. to have this discussion. They don't want them to be at peace. Right? They want the tensions in the
they love
in the region. Yeah, they want that. It benefits them. It benefits them to be the only partner of the U.S. in the Middle East other than Saudi Arabia. Right? It benefits them. Okay. And then after that, there's a big hullabaloo. There's a big discussion. Israel wants the U.S. to join in and attack Iran. And obviously this stops the entire discussion around denuclearization. That's an explosion.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I got a little confused.
Yeah. So Israel's like, hey, we bombed Iran, but guess what? Iran's now bombing them.
Whoa.
Because it's like we bombed it's like we attacked a sovereign nation, and now they're attacking back.
Ugh. Disgusting. They can't.
Only
do that.
we can do that, dude. Yeah. They're killing Israeli civilians. That's our job. Killing civilians is our job. What are you talking about? And so now Israel is saying that, hey, we want the U.S. to come in and bomb them. And Trump's like, I don't know. I am the peace president. And Tucker Carlson is like, we really shouldn't do that. I love you, but don't do that. And they said good night.
Right? Yeah. He tucked them into bed.
How many people live in Iran?
I don't know.
92 million. Oh, okay.
No, that was Ted Cruz.
That was Ted Cruz. Yeah, that's what we were doing. Yeah. So that's happening. There's a lot of discussion around.
Are you saying I'm Ted Cruz?
You were Ted Cruz.
That's actually terrible.
Well,
that's
were saying
worse. That's worse than being.
Dan, just play your part. We were doing a bit. So there's a big discussion on whether or not the Republican Party is going to have a schism over whether or not the U.S. joins Iran in this fight, or joins Israel in this fight against Iran. Guess what? Trump joined them. The U.S. bombs Iran nuclear sites.
And this was 2 days ago?
This was, I think it was 3 days ago at this point.
Was it 3 days?
Yeah, I think it was 3 days. So, U.S. bombs Iran nuclear sites. Trump declares on truth.
And he did this in order to get peace talks.
No, not true.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Okay. I saw that he bombed Iran because he wanted to get peace talks. And that's what I saw from Oracles.
I mean, not really.
That's a really cool image. Although I don't know if the GIF will pop up for it. Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, that works.
There. So the U.S. bombs Iran nuclear sites.
Yeah.
And Trump is... Whoopee!
Yeah, he is. He's very happy.
Yeah, he says we actually destroyed their nuclear sites.
Not true.
Not true.
Okay, there you go.
So we didn't destroy their nuclear sites because obviously they moved their shit, right? And I would like to add, the entire precipice that Iran is developing nuclear weapons is arguably not true. We wouldn't have a right to bomb a country just for trying to develop nuclear weapons in the first place. That violates their sovereignty. If we're talking just straight international law, we don't have the right to do that.
Well, yeah.
But also, I don't think they're trying to develop nuclear weapons. I think we're just assuming they are.
Well,
I don't believe that shit. It feels like the Iraq War, you know? Like the WMDs. They didn't have them. They weren't developing them.
Yeah.
If someone justifies Iran's bombing with the fact that they're trying to develop nuclear weapons, that's bullshit. It doesn't justify the death of civilians. It
doesn't justify.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't justify it. And it certainly isn't true. it probably isn't true either. Probably doing a lot of work there. So that happens. So now people are saying...
Yeah, no, it has not been confirmed that Iran has been actively building nuclear weapons.
So everyone's asking, is the U.S. at war?
No.
See,
Also,
the fact that I didn't think about it is bad.
Also, the operation that it was called Midnight Hammer.
I saw that. Midnight Hammer.
Midnight Hammer.
What a bunch of weebs.
Yeah, they had a ton of stealth bombers fly in undetected, and they bombed large nuclear plants.
Yeah.
There were also big cities as well, because that's where they were.
So this is all a very short timeline. It's happening in hours. So people are saying, are we at war with Iran? And Democrats are mad about it, but they're not mad for the right reason, in my opinion. They're mad because Trump didn't ask Congress before bombing them.
Which that's also a big thing.
Constitutionally, they're right, but also morally speaking, there's bigger issues. There's sort of World War III issues here. There's also deaths of civilians that are probably the worst, probably the more bad thing to be concerned. Not that they didn't ask you, you know?
Well, yes. I mean, it completely violated that. I see where you're coming from, though. Like, it shouldn't only be focusing on that. But yes, we absolutely should be focusing on that. But also the fact that we just bombed Iran.
Yeah. And then Iran responds. Iran attacks U.S. base in Qatar.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yes. A little bit of context for this. So at this point, I'm pretty sure in this point in the timeline, Trump has already called both Netanyahu and the leader of Iran to say, hey, we're doing a ceasefire. Yeah. And so Iran is kind of trying to chill out the situation, or at least elements in the Iran government.
Yeah, they had a short ceasefire, and then it immediately got broken.
Well, we're not getting to that yet.
Okay, fine.
Iran attacks U.S. base in Qatar.
Yeah.
With not that many people in it.
Yeah.
The base in Qatar is very ceremonial. It wasn't a very active base in Qatar. So if you had to pick a place in a region to attack the U.S. for reprisal because they attacked you, that would be the best place to do it without actually pissing them off.
Yeah.
So that was their thinking, and that's what they did. And then Trump makes up a ceasefire. Oh, why is that 10.5? Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah, for everyone trying to read on screen. There you go. That looks better.
So, that's not how you spell that.
Yeah.
Forgot an E.
There you go.
Trump makes up a ceasefire. So Trump, he did this weird thing that I think is revolutionary in terms of foreign policy.
Right.
Without telling either Iran or Netanyahu.
Or our Congress.
Or our Congress. Or the press beforehand.
Or
he said, before saying anyone, he claimed that there was a ceasefire. He said there's a ceasefire on 12. And really what happened here is that he called them and said there was a ceasefire, but none of them agreed to the conditions.
Yeah.
And so he was like, okay, you guys got a few hours before you guys got 12 hours before the ceasefire is in effect. Which isn't how you're supposed to do it, obviously. It's obviously not how you're supposed to do it.
It's not like purge until this point.
Yeah, it's his terms for this ceasefire that weren't properly vetted by either party wasn't good. But obviously, 1 hour later, literally 1 hour later, this is the shortest ceasefire in human history. So what happens here is Israel claims that Iran tried to bomb them after the ceasefire went in. It's a little dubious because, one, the missile didn't hit Israel. They didn't hit them. They intercepted a missile that Iran shot at them. But it isn't clear if the Iran shot that missile before or after Trump made up the ceasefire. Maybe planning and telling them ahead of time is probably a good idea when you make a ceasefire so that they know.
Well,
I don't think so.
Yeah, they don't have to know. They just have to read his mind, and then.
Or they have to be on Truth Social. If they were on Truth Social.
Yeah. You know, it's a bad political environment when you're finding out new things.
Yeah.
Or discovering new things on your social media app. Yeah.
Yeah. He's leaking stuff and all that.
Yeah.
So, Trump's mad.
Mhm.
So Israel says they tried to bomb us. So Israel keeps bombing them. In fact, they bomb more than they had in the past 11 days. They throw everything at them at this point because they're like, it's like a basketball game where they're like the buzzer goes off and the guy throws a.
Oh, he's like shooting a basket.
Last minute, yeah. So they're like
last second.
Last second, and that's what Israel's doing. They're throwing all the bombs at this hour so they can get out of their system, I guess. And Iran's like, what the fuck? What the hell are you doing? And so they're like, okay, well now I have to bomb you, or I look weak. And also, you're killing my people.
Well, it's not even that you look weak. I feel like it's more of.
It's all of it. It's all of it. It's, you know, they see what happened at Lebanon and what's happening in Gaza. They're like, I'm not dealing with this shit.
Yeah, it's.
So Trump is mad. Trump's like, wait a second, you guys didn't listen to what I said? That's insane.
Because you put it in.
Did you not copy it?
No, I already copied it.
Control V.
There you go.
There. He is mad.
There.
He is mad. See the photo? Mad.
Yeah, that is mad.
And he's like, and with that,
Mhm.
with the summarization of the 12-day war, which by the way, Trump is trying to coin it as that.
Oh really? Okay,
Yeah.
That's good.
Because he's a
12-day war.
child. 12-day war, which he ended obviously.
Fire name.
Yeah, great.
Mm-hmm. I know, it's good.
Which he's trying to end. Finn, I think you should get to your story.
You want me to get my stuff? My stuff
Yeah.
will take a second. Well, it won't.
Well, no, just the Trump thing, because it's about
Okay.
Iran. It went straight.
So, big news, and I'm glad this is the kind of stuff that gets into the news, and that this is what people are so excited to talk about, is the fact he dropped the F-bomb pertaining to the
really not
ceasefire
the biggest
violation.
thing in the news. I don't know why you're so hyped about this.
Well, it's not that I'm hyped about it, it's just because this was in the news. I put up MSNBC, I saw a ton of like late night talk show hosts talking about this as well. This was all like a part of their segment.
It's because of your feed, though. You get. Fed
It's not because of my.
Yes, it
what do you
is.
mean? It's all why? Then why?
This is by far not the biggest.
Talk show hosts.
This isn't the
This is
biggest
not.
news story.
This is not the biggest. It's
It
not,
isn't.
by no means. But it's being talked about. It's like being slid.
It's getting
into
talked
it.
about like it's like People magazine. You know, that's the level.
Sure. Yes.
This is tabloid.
But Israel embarrassed by Trump's furious F-bomb tirade at ceasefire violation. It's like a 6-second clip.
Did you change the
where he
screen
said
yet?
the F-bomb. No, actually. I'll actually leave it up there because they don't. Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Because they, you know,
Fucking
I
fine.
think it's good.
Hey, you want this to be the thumbnail?
Yeah, actually, I
Okay,
would like
cool.
this to be a thumbnail. Yeah, and that's literally it. He just dropped the F-bomb pertaining to how.
You know, this is actually this
they
would have been a
got rid
good.
of
We should play the clip for this actually.
Do you want to play the clip?
Yeah. So this is actually interesting. Other than being funny, because haha, president said slur or not. Well, he says that too. President said curse word. He said dirty word.
He did say a dirty word.
Make sure to change the screen. So it also shows that he's turning on Israel, which is why they're kind of upset about it. Because in the clip you'll see he blames Israel more than Iran for this, which honestly is kind of the most base thing he's done so far. Because it is their fault. It's 100% their fault.
You're like
right there.
It's like right here.
Yeah, right there. That's good.
Yeah.
Israel for breaching the fragile ceasefire.
Yeah, we basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the you're doing. Do you understand that?
In-your-face outburst came as the president was leaving for the NATO
Very
summit in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know what this means for the future of
I don't
U.S.-Israeli
Haha. I have no idea.
U.S.-Israeli cooperation.
Mm-hmm.
But he's kind of getting fed up with all.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Whatever he ends up doing, it's going to be
know.
bad, I assume.
Well, yeah, probably.
I have low hopes.
I would assume. Okay. And speaking of NATO,
wait.
Not speaking of NATO, him going into a NATO ship.
We're officially going into the dumbass segment.
Okay. I don't have a lot here. I actually only have 2 things, and the F-bomb thing was one of them. Or 3 things actually, including the other one. So, NATO leaders commit to invest 5% of their overall GDP on defense by 2035. It's a big document saying that we're putting more money into, or more.
They're buying more stuff
for defense. Yes, they're just putting more stuff into NATO, and also in that document that they said that is backed by a lot of the NATO leaders that are in NATO. They're also backing Ukraine. So they're just putting more stuff, putting more military efforts to Ukraine as well.
I mean, that part's fine.
Cool.
But this is only really good for people that own weapons manufacturing companies.
Well, yeah, I mean,
U.S. weapons manufacturing.
It seems like everyone is committing to a 5% GDP on defense.
Yeah.
By 2035. So which is, it's not like a nothing investment. It's pretty that's big.
I mean, it's not good. I would argue it's bad.
It's at least something. I'd much rather that.
Actually, it seems ridiculous for another country to determine how much. It feels weird for another country to determine the budget of another. You know what I mean? Only the U.S. would do that shit. You know?
Well, yeah. And then my only other news story: Trump calls the Federal Reserve's chair, Federal Reserve Chairman, on Wednesday. He said that he is an average mentally person.
What? Wait.
That was his actual quote.
What did he say?
He said he's an average mentally person, low IQ for what he does. And you know what's funny about this? The chairman he put in is the guy.
This is Trump's thing. I thought there was
yeah.
Clearly he has. I thought it was the guy from Netherlands because it's clearly that's not his first. English isn't his first language, so it's I was getting. No, it's Trump. He just talks
Trump.
like that.
Yeah. So Jerome Powell, and he quote said he has a low IQ, and it's funny because this guy was the guy that Trump picked for his Federal Reserve Chairman position in his last term.
Who's Jerome Powell? Who's Jerome Powell?
I don't know the guy exactly. I just know he was picked by Trump, but he was actually good.
Well, he couldn't have been that.
He was actually good because he then got 6 more years in the Biden administration. He had been put there for extra time in the Biden administration. So while Biden
I don't
did
know
get
who
rid
the
of
fuck this is. I'm gonna be honest. I have no clue who Jerome Powell is.
No, he was someone. I just know he was someone who was nominated by Trump for the position in his term. He got selected for it, and then now he hates him because he's essentially not cutting interest rates.
Mm-hmm. Wait, because I know. This is the guy who heads the National Bank, not the National Bank, the Federal Reserve. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know who this is.
Okay.
Yeah. This isn't news. He's been mad at him for a while.
Well, yeah. I just thought it was funny. He called him an average mentally person, which he almost got right. He had to switch the mentally and average. He's a mentally average person, but he did it the wrong way, which is ironic for talking about a guy who he's trying to perceive as stupid.
Yeah, I don't.
He called him later. He already has positions for when his term ends in 2026. He called him a really stupid person. Yeah.
So he corrected himself?
Well, no, he just called him a really dumb
Oh, you're
guy.
just translating. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Jerome Powell is to help Americans, not hurt them. But so Powell argued it's too early to cut interest rates because many economists anticipate Trump's tariffs will eventually boost the inflation rate, which is lower today than when Trump took office. So he's just not cutting interest rates, and Trump is mad about that, and he's trying to get him out, and he's calling him a really dumb person.
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, an average mentally person.
Thank you.
I
didn't understand what you meant before.
Yeah, I figured. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Hope that doesn't happen. Hope.
Well,
I mean, it's going to happen.
It's
He's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's going to fuck up the economy. He's going to fuck up the Federal Reserve, which is the kind of a scary thing. Do you want to talk about your orca jerking off thing?
No, I already got rid of that, so we don't have to go through that.
Anyway, Finn had a story about orcas jerking off.
I didn't have. No, I did not. Oh my god.
Thank you for watching Deadass, your dumbass. I'm not going to correct Finn. Finn's not going to correct himself. He definitely had that story on the board.
Alright. Sure. The stop button's over there. Where are you? What are you doing?
Oh, you want me to... I thought you had a bit.
No, I didn't have anything.
Because he's not funny. Anything you want to leave off, Finn? Anything else you want to say?
No, I don't got anything.
No?
Mm-mm. I'm happy we won the primary.
I am happy we won the primary. That's good.
That's probably the biggest thing.
I'm hoping.
Well, other than Iran.
Yeah. It's Zoran Mambayev. He's not going to be the next president,
No.
but he would be. He's a good coalition member. It'd be nice.
It'd
be nice if we had someone.
What?
Hey Finn, if this podcast keeps happening, and when we get closer to 2020, do you want to do like a tier list for people we want to?
A tier list? That'd actually be fire. That's actually a really good episode.
Man,
we should do
a
that.
lot of investment just to get over there, though. We should do something for the primaries like that, though. Maybe not a tier list, because that doesn't seem like it makes sense for that kind of thing.
Well, we could do a tier list. I feel like that'd go good with the current internet.
How would we do a tier list for that, though?
Like what? Like
for the
we think of
for the
presidents?
midterm? No, for the midterms.
Oh, for midterms. It's more of something that we would have to see who is up first.
I guess I would have to. I would have to look into it.
midterms.
I would have to look into it and see what are the seats that are like kind of in contention, that are in contention. Yeah. I guess that's a better stream idea than anything. It's a better stream idea because it's like a live coverage is the exciting part.
Yeah. But we would have to be going into like midterms.
Maybe I guess I could draw with my map that goes like a U.S. map, and I could be like, I could put little pictures of the people.
I guess. Yeah, make it like a bootleg thing.
Yeah. In the corner, I could have like the two houses of the Senate. And see like, oh well, I could be like that guy on CNN with the funny voice. He's like, jump in Jillikers. Jump in Jillikers, guys. We changed the house. We flipped the house. We're at a 51 advantage. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Anyway, that's the episode.
Okay.
Have a lovely day.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.